More like Ben-Hur done that. Am I right? No? Alright then. Just, just roll the bumper. Ben-Hur. So Ben-Hur is like, what, the 6th time that Ben-Hur has been brought on screen? The most notable one is probably the one with Charlton Heston from the 1950s. You know, the one that was 2 VHS tapes long, and as a kid you were always just like, no, Grandma, no, Grandma, I don't want to watch this. So in Ben-Hur, you have Judah Ben-Hur and his adopted brother, Marcellus Severus, and you can actually tell that they're brothers. You feel like they're actually brothers. Marcellus is kind of the outcast of the Ben-Hur family, so he's just like, you know what, I need to amount to something. I'm gonna go off to fight with the Romans, and then all's gonna be good. And he comes back as this Roman general, and you can tell that Marcellus is in this position that he doesn't want to be in, and he has to do things with his brother that he otherwise wouldn't have done if he wasn't in the Roman army. And let's start off with some positives of the movie. I did like Toby Kebbell in this movie. And also Richard Harrow from Boardwalk Empire. I know his name's Jack Houston, but I've always known him as Richard Harrow from Boardwalk Empire. And to be honest, he did a good job as Ben-Hur. It was good seeing him in something again, because I feel like I haven't seen him in anything since he was Richard Harrow in Boardwalk Empire. But now to get on to the movie itself, the first issue with this movie is that it's the 6th iteration of Ben-Hur. So in that, there is that part of you that feels like we've Ben-Hur before. Okay, I'm sorry, that was the last one. Let's also talk about the first act of this movie. The first act of this movie, it's all over the place. It's spanning many years, it's telling a bunch of different shit, which out the gate, that is something the original Ben-Hur, well, it's not the original, but I'm gonna call it the original, because up until like 3 days ago, I didn't know that there were 6 other Ben-Hur movies. I thought the Charlton Heston one is the original, so that's what I'm referring to as the original. But in the original one, it's 3.5 hours long, which by 1950s standards, that was commonplace. But today you have to take a story like that and crunch it down into 2 hours. So this movie is 1.5 hours shorter than the original 1959 Ben-Hur. So in that, the beginning is kind of all over the place. It's bombarding you with all this information. That being said, once the beginning wraps up, once he actually is sold into slavery, that's when this movie picks up. You have the boat scene where he's like at war. You have him like rowing the boats, and then he meets Morgan Freeman. Talk about Morgan Freeman for a second, because he looks bored. He looks like he does not want to be there at all. I mean, look at him. He's just like, I'm just killing time until they make Shawshank 2. He's not happy to be there. I think that might have just been for the paycheck, maybe. But now the chariot race sequence, because, guys, the chariot race sequence. The chariot race sequence in this movie made me forget about the messy first half, and it became an enjoyable movie when the chariot race scene happened. I swear to you, edge of my seat shit right there on that chariot race. It was intense, it was action-packed, it was exciting, and you know, there is that part of me that was watching the movie. I was sitting there like, you know what, I'm having a good time. There's some pacing issues. I don't think I'll watch it again. I mean, maybe I'll watch it again, like if I'm scrolling through the TV channels and it's just like, hey, Ben-Hur's on. And that's how I felt for the first 2/3, and then the ending happened, which, oh my god. The ending for this movie is like 5-layer cheese nachos on top of 5-layer cheese fries on top of cheese pizza, where you got the 50 cents extra cheese because you really like cheese. That is the ending of this movie. It is so bafflingly cheesy. It's so bafflingly horrible that it just pretty much, the movie was here and it took it what, where you going? Hey, wait, come back! Which I swear to God, the ending to this movie, okay, the ending is like this. If we still projected on film, I would have walked out and gone to management and be like, yeah, excuse me, Tyler Durden is splicing clips from other movies into this one. But no, this is not the inner workings of a figment of Edward Norton's imagination. That's actually how the movie ends. Which, okay, that song at the end, first of all, what the fuck was that shit? It's like this cheesy Christian rock music playing at the very end of this movie, which, I get it. Ben-Hur is like a Christian movie, so you gotta appease the Christian fans in some sense, but having Christian rock? What the fuck is that? I swear to God, the first 2/3 of this movie are actually really enjoyable, but that last half of the movie, it just pounded the movie into the ground so much that in the end, I'm just like, this whole movie is bullshit now. Guys, in the end, it's like this. Ben-Hur has a really sloppy first half, but it has a really entertaining as shit middle half that makes up for the first half that was really messy. And then the ending happens, and the ending is pretty much just like, hey, pal, hey, you're having fun with this movie? Well, fuck you. Puh. That's the ending to this movie. And in the end, I do have to say that Ben-Hur is not worth watching again. I'm telling you, man, that ending. The rating for this movie could have been 2 pegs up if it weren't for that ending. I swear to God, it ruins the whole movie. So yeah, guys, Ben-Hur, what's your... I don't know what to ask. Just whatever you want. Just sound off in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time. Jeez, that ending.